Even people who don't consider themselves experts in art history can probably spot a Celtic or Celtic-inspired graphic from across the room. While these designs recall some Celtic features, the Celtic art period encompasses much more than this. Celtic art has a long, complicated, and interesting history. The Celtic tribe was an Iron Age culture, meaning a European people that the Romans did not conquer before medieval times. Their exact cultural origins are largely unknown today, but what is clear is the Celts were farmers, expert carvers, and polytheistic nature worshippers. Celtic art borrows images and ideas from nature, which is a Celtic source of spiritual reflection and strength, and draws viewers in with complex repeating forms and themes. What we recognize today as Celtic imagery is the result of many hands from many cultures being fused and adapted over many centuries. Its enduring aesthetic value has kept Celtic art popular since the 8th century BC. The Hallstatt culture of Central Europe, from the 8th to 6th centuries BC, is the earliest known Celtic group. Art from the Hallstatt culture includes metalwork, pottery, and jewelry. The Hallstatt people's metalwork is noted for its intersecting geometric forms, which foreshadow those found in later works of Celtic art. The lines in Hallstatt art, however, were mostly straight, unlike the winding and organic intersecting forms we find in later Celtic art. The curved lines of Celtic art likely came from the influence of the Latin style of Switzerland in the 5th to 4th centuries BC. By the 1st century AD, the Roman Empire was in full swing, and Celtic art began taking on classical Roman influences. This strong Roman influence intensified when the Romans conquered many of the Celtic populations. Romans were equally inspired by Celtic art, and Celtic influences have been noted in Roman art as well. The artistic fusion between cultures continued when later on in the 11th century, trade with the Vikings added a Scandinavian touch to the Celts' evolving style. During the Golden Age of Ireland, between the 9th and 12th centuries AD, Celtic sculptors crafted the high cross tombstone design that endures as an emblematic image for tombstones in Christian necklaces today. High crosses are distinctive because of the circles around their intersecting point. The circle at the center of the Celtic high cross represents the sun, and later the Son of God and eternity. The circle is divided into 4 parts by the cross, the 4 parts representing the 4 seasons, and the 4 cardinal directions. The most famous Celtic high cross that remains today is Muradoc's high cross. The sandstone cross features elaborately carved panels, illustrating numerous biblical scenes and geometrical motifs. The central panel depicts the Last Supper and the crucifixion of Christ. Perhaps a high point of Celtic art is the illuminated manuscript, the Book of Kells, which contained 4 Gospels of the New Testament. An illuminated manuscript includes decorative borders, illustrations which illuminate or light up the text on the page. The Book of Kells illuminated manuscript features complicated patterns and shapes on every single page, leaving hardly any white space. There truly is a prolific amount of decoration and illustration on each page of the Gospels, and the Book of Kells is thought by many to be the national treasure of Ireland. The doodles in the margins of your notebooks are no match for the illuminated plants, mystical animals, and geometrical designs of the Book of Kells. Scholars believe the Book of Kells was created around 800 AD, though some argue for earlier or later dates. Its Celtic style originates from the British Isles, then known as Insula, and is now known as Insular art. One significant quirk of Celtic art is the lack of representation of the human figure. The Celts' specialty was creating spirals, geometric patterns, and knots that are still widely recognized today. Celtic religious art is unique in that it rarely depicts the crucifixion or Mary and the Child. Instead, Celtic religious art is more symbolic in nature, featuring many ornate crosses, 3-sided graphics like triskells, or 3-part spirals. The number 3 suggests the Christian divine trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This abstraction took viewers' minds away from the mundane and into a more abstract and spiritual realm. Religious crosses and triskells are common in both images and sculptures produced in Celtic regions, and they remain dominant in Celtic art today. Celtic patterns and mythology continue to inspire viewers to find beauty and symmetry in nature, and to contemplate the playful magic and spiritual traditions of long ago. Celtic woven knots, curved leaves and vines, and illuminated plants and noble animals like those found in the Book of Kells have created a magical legacy that lives on in contemporary mysticism and art.